Okay, I'm live, but no one's here yet. We are live from Fated Mates. This is Crystal Ash, one of your Fated Mates authors. I'm going to read a little something for you today. Someone's here, and it's Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea. All right. How do I invite somebody? I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. All right, people are piling in. Who said I'm here? You came on as the page. I'm the page. Who are you? All right, you guys. I'm Crystal Ash. I'm one of the Fated Mates authors, and I'm going to read you a little from my novel, Wolves of the West. That's going to be in our fabulous box set. So it is a reverse harem. I write only reverse harem, really, paranormal and fantasy. I've been writing reverse harem for about a year now, almost exactly a year. I published my first book April of last year, and that's now a completed series. I actually have two completed reverse harem series out now. There's Unholy Trinity, which this book for Fated Mates is a spin-off of that. It's one of the side characters in that series. She'll be the main character in this one. And I have my Amazon page there in the little description. You can check out my series if you'd like. So Unholy Trinity is the first reverse harem series I completed. The second one is Harem of Freaks, which is shifters. Well, 3 shifters and one guy who's a grumpy Marine, but he's still pretty awesome. An Unholy Trinity was about a witch and a demon harem. But Wolves of the West is about shifters, wolf shifters. Hey, Melanie. Yeah, reverse harems are awesome. They're the best. So Wolves of the West is about Nona. She's a wolf shifter. She's the best friend of Deja, who's the main character who's a witch in Unholy Trinity. So it's all related. There's probably going to be even more spin-offs coming later on down the road, but we'll see. And Nona's prequel story is in Fate's Call, which is our freebie anthology that goes with Fated Mates. And that one is called Raised by Wolves. I have a few different wolf projects going on right now, so it's a little hard to keep them straight. But so Raised by Wolves, you can read for free in Fate's Call, and there you can be introduced to Nona and her guys. And I'm going to read you her first chapter. And there's nothing too sexy or anything in this chapter. I think it should be pretty safe for most people to listen to. We'll call it PG-13. I think that's an accurate rating for this one. All right, and I'm gonna have a little giveaway for the end of this after you guys listen. I wanna make you listen first. All right. So let's see, I have some little notes here. Nope, okay, we can get started with the reading. All right, chapter 1. Let me drink some water first. Okay. Chapter 1. This is from Wolves of the West for Fated Mates. I kicked the rusty wire cage for dramatic effect, making the coyotes inside whimper pathetically as they huddled together. You're 100% sure these are shifters? I asked, using my well-practiced, don't bullshit me voice. Of course I'm sure, the greasy-haired witch scoffed. That's why there were so much. I looked over the guy who looked like he was auditioning to play one of the Columbine shooters. We were in the Nevada desert, for fuck's sake, and he was wearing a damn trench coat. He wore black jeans tucked into lace-up combat boots and some faded black shirt with some heavy metal logo on it. His knuckles were decorated with tacky, cheap-looking stainless steel rings. To top it off, he was skinny as a rail with long brown hair that desperately needed some shampooing. If I didn't smell the magic on him, I'd bet my own hide he wasn't actually a witch, but just a normal human trying too hard to be a badass. In other words, he fit the profile for a skin trafficker perfectly, but I couldn't let him know just how easy this was. Or you could just be trying to fuck me over, I retorted. I'm gonna need proof. Talk to them, he offered with a snort. They react to human questions. So do golden retrievers. You could have trained them for all I know. I made a big show of sighing and crossing my arms as I turned to leave. Look, dude, I drove all the way from Vegas because I thought you offered a sure deal. If you're just gonna waste my time, then... All right, he huffed, digging through his large trench coat pockets. Here, but you can't take screenshots or get a copy of this or anything, deal? Yeah, whatever, I grumbled, stepping closer to him to look at the phone he retrieved from his pocket. He pressed play on a video file and I squinted as I watched. Can I just tilt it this way? There's a glare on the screen, thanks. I adjusted the phone angle and watched the video in silence. Keeping a straight face while watching videos like these was the hardest part of my job. My stomach clenched into a brick as I watched the two human teenagers on the screen hugging each other and crying. Fortunately, these two looked unhurt. I knew within the first glance these two were the ones I was sent to retrieve. Sandy blonde hair, ruddy complexions, brother and sister, all boxes checked. A series of loud pops and a flash of light made them shriek and huddle tighter together. In the wall above them, fresh bullet holes appeared. Shift now or the next shots are going through you, yelled someone off screen. It sounded exactly like Greasy Boy standing right next to me. My lips twitched with the urge to snarl, but he didn't see. Choking off his air supply with a quick bite would have been a pleasure, but that also would have blown my cover. And for all I knew, he still had a gun in that trench. Satisfied? Greasy Boy yanked the phone away and returned it to his pocket the moment the video ended, an expectant look on his face. Are you kidding me? This isn't even foreplay. Immensely, I grinned at him. How much? 10 grand for the pair, like we talked about. Expensive-ass coyotes, I grumbled, pulling a wad of cash from my back pocket and counting out the bills. Not like they're common around here or anything. Coyotes are used in specialized Native American rituals. A pair of siblings together are even rarer, he explained, watching me count the cash impatiently. I wondered how many hookers he was planning to buy tonight, because there's no way in hell anybody would sleep with this dickbag for free. I also wondered how long it would be until he realized the bills were fake. Fascinating, I drawled, holding the money out to him. He accepted the cash from me and counted it out again before sliding the bundle into his coat pocket. They're all yours, he said with a satisfied smirk. Mr. Greasy-haired high roller was none the wiser. It's been a pleasure, I answered, lifting the cage with the terrified coyotes into the back of my open SUV. For sure. Hey, feel free to call me again, for business or pleasure. It may have looked like trying to hold back a giggle, but I was actually vomiting in my mouth a little. Bring me more shifters and we'll see what happens. I shot him a wink as I closed up my car, and he looked like he won a lot more than 10 grand in counterfeit bills. I drove for a half hour at no slower than 85 miles per hour, ignoring the coyotes huddled up in their cage until we reached the first stop of the journey, the middle of fucking nowhere. At least it looked that way. I veered off the freeway onto an unmarked trail and switched on the four-wheel drive for the rest of the way. The next few miles took us over sizable rocks and fallen trees. It had to be bumpy and uncomfortable for the coyotes, but I figured they suffered worse already. We stopped at a small clearing just barely big enough for my car. I shut off the engine, grabbed a duffel bag from the passenger seat, and walked around to open the back. The shifters looked just as terrified as when I picked them up, curled up in the far corner of the cage and trembling as they stared at me with round, dark eyes. It's safe now. You guys can shift a human if you want. There's clothes and food in here. I set the duffel bag down next to the cage and opened the wire door. The two fur balls remained frozen, staring back up at me. I sighed. This part always took the most amount of time. Normally I could understand a captured shifter's reluctance to trust, but today I was in a hurry. I'm a shifter too, guys. I work undercover to get kids like you out of trouble. I allowed my ears to grow pointy and slide to the top of my head as proof. You're Ben and Natalie, right? The male coyote's ears flicked forward, a sign of recognition towards the names. Your parents are hiding in Tahoe. It's another 3 hours there, so if you guys want to be comfortable, I suggest going human and getting some food in you. There's a blanket in the back seat too if you guys want to rest. The male nuzzled his sister and gently licked her face in reassurance before slowly creeping towards the open door of the cage. I walked around to the front of the car and leaned against the hood to give them some privacy. As I played with my phone, I heard the distinctive sound of bones and cartilage snapping and the organs rearranging as they shifted to human. A few seconds later, my wolf ears picked up their soft whispers to each other as they unzipped the duffel bag. "If you run, it's your own funeral, kids," I said loudly. "And if you try to fight me, you won't win, I swear." "And if you try to fight me, you won't win. I swear I'm taking you straight to your parents and dropping you off." Footsteps crunched over the ground and approached me, and I leveled my gaze at the now human boy of about 16 years old. The hoodie, jeans, and sneakers I picked up were a bit too big for him, but they'd do the job till he got home. He inhaled sharply, the suspicion still in his eyes as he tried to be brave. "You're a wolf? Why are you helping us?" "Because my boss told me to," I said in a bored tone. "Now, if you two are ready, I'd like to drop you off and head home myself so I don't miss the birth of my best friend's child." "I can't smell you," he inhaled sharply again. "Why?" "Because I'm wearing a spelled charm that covers my scent," I answered, growing aggravated. "You think I'd be able to save your asses if your captors could tell I was a shifter too?" "You have a spelled charm from a witch and still saved us from one?" His lip curled into a snarl, which could have been intimidating if I was, say, a bunny shifter. "Whose side are you really on?" "I don't have time for this, kid." I took one step toward him with a low growl. "Get in the car or not, it makes no difference to me." He shrank back, lowering his eyes. Good boy. I might not have been an alpha heir anymore, but with the exception of Astrid, my growl could still put lower predators in their place. "We'll get in the car," he mumbled. "You said there was a blanket in the back seat?" "I did." He nodded curtly and went back to retrieve his sister. I got back behind the wheel and waited. Within a minute, they were huddled under the blanket together, tearing into the beef jerky, crackers, and Gatorade from my duffel bag. "Hope y'all don't get car sick," I mumbled, turning my vehicle back toward the highway. All right. So there's more, but we got a little scene break here. Let's see. And I'll catch up with comments for a second while I catch my breath. Hey, Katie, you're here at work. Thanks for not working and listening to me. Thanks, Melanie. I'm glad you liked Harem of Freaks. Yeah, Greasy Guy doesn't deserve a name. He's just Greasy Guy. All right. Any questions or anything real quick before I read up the rest of the chapter? It's a quick little scene break. It's not as long as the first part. You're totally working. Sure you are, Katie. All right. All right, I'm going to finish up reading this little scene for the chapter, and then I'll wrap this up and let you guys get on your day, and I'll do a quick little giveaway at the end for those of you who sat through this. All right. All right. There were tears, hugs, and "thank you so much" repeated over and over when I brought the kids back to their family. "Please stay," the father asked me with a relieved smile, his eyes wet with tears. "You're based out of Washington, right? Stay as our honored guest before your journey back." "Sorry, but I can't," I told him, tapping my foot with the eagerness to leave. "There's something important back home that I can't miss." "Well, safe travels to you," he inclined his head toward me, "and thank you again so much for bringing our children back to us. Don't mention it." I got back in the car and slammed the door before the words finished leaving my mouth. Peeling out of the gravel driveway, I called Astrid through the Bluetooth connection in my car. "Talk to me, Nona," my fox shifter boss chirped when she answered. The Coyote kids have been recovered and returned to their family, I reported dryly. On my way out of Tahoe now. Excellent. This is why you're the best I've got. I appreciate it, sweets. Like usual, I ignored the compliment. How's Deja doing? She's about 4 centimeters dilated, contractions about 10 minutes apart. Not much is going on yet. Baby doesn't seem eager to leave. Dee's up and walking around right now, pleading with this kid to get the hell out. What the fuck? I laughed at the mental picture of Deja waddling around and talking to her pregnant belly. She's a witch. Can't she use magic to just pull the kid out of there? A scratching sound came over the phone, followed by muffled voices. Apparently it doesn't work that way, Astrid reported. Well, if the baby's not going anywhere, that gives me time. I'm about 8 or 10 hours away. Sounds good. I reached for the button to end the call when Astrid asked, You okay, Nona? Yeah, I grumbled. I just need some coffee for this drive, that's all. You sure, sweets? I know it's that time of year. She didn't have to say it. I knew exactly what she was talking about, and not the fact that tonight happened to be Halloween with a full moon, no less. I'm sure, I told her. I'm okay, really. It gets a little easier every year, but thank you for checking. Anytime, girl. Don't hesitate to talk to any of us if you need to. Thanks, I repeated, itching to get off the phone. I'll see you guys at the hospital. I ended the call quickly, releasing the breath I'd been holding as I settled into my seat for the long drive. I hated lying to her, to any of them, but it didn't really get any easier. The 6-year anniversary of the worst time of my life just passed last week. I was hoping to get through the week without anyone bringing it up, but no such luck. My fingers hovered over the touchscreen on my dashboard. I'd been meaning to call my parents all week, but I hadn't yet. I told myself it was because I was so busy at work, but deep down, I knew that was just an excuse. Our communication started dropping over the years. Calls became less and less frequent, and the one at this time of the year was always the hardest to make. I brought my hand back to the steering wheel with a heavy sigh, resigning to call them after I made it back to Washington and got some sleep. It didn't help much that I was heading back to the same area where it all began, where my future was shattered and my family torn apart. And that's it. That's all you get. Oh, thank you, Danny. I need a haircut, actually. This is getting a little long for me to manage. And this needs to be touched up. I try to get it shaved every 6 weeks or so, but sometimes it goes a little longer. All right. So my little giveaway to wrap this up, I'd like you guys to leave a comment with your Fated Mates related freebie, whether that's one of the anthologies, either Fate's Call or Fierce and Fated, or one of the pre-order gifts that you get from pre-ordering the set. So remember, if you pre-ordered it already, you get the 12 free ebooks right away just for pre-ordering. That's available at the Fated Mates website at fatedmates.com. You click gifts at the top and you enter your pre-order information, and those get sent to you right away. Thank you, Dawn. I'm excited about this book. It's kind of been a long time in the making. Ever since I wrote my first Reverse Harem series, I wanted to give this character her own story. And I can finally do it. All right, you guys, I think that's it for today. I'll let you all get on with the rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the little teaser I gave. And remember, I guess I should say what I'm giving away. $5 Amazon gift card. If you comment with your favorite Fated Mates related freebie. Tell me which free anthology you liked more, if you loved one of the pre-order gifts that you got for free download when you pre-ordered the set, and I'll pick a winner for that in a couple of days. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out and listening. I'll talk to you again later. Bye.